Trent Alexander-Arnold talks to Sam Wallace Credit. Getty Images. Trent Alexander-Arnold's memories of his first Anfield game will always be crystal clear, not least because it was the night that he was baptised as a Liverpool fan and into the great European tradition of which he has already become a part. Liverpool's 19-year-old breakthrough star and fresh World Cup call-up is sitting on the terrace of the team's Marbella hotel, on a break from warm-weather training, recalling his 6-year-old self taking his seats at Anfield with his mum, Diane, and brothers, Tyler and Marcel. It was the 2005 Champions League quarter-final first leg against Juventus, and he can remember Sami Hyypiä's first goal, Luis Garcia's second, and also something that everyone learns about English football's most successful European team. It's the atmosphere, the special feeling around Anfield, one of those special European nights, he says. He watched the final in Istanbul round the television with the family. One of those games of two halves. The first half was disappointing, but, you know, miracles happen, don't they? At Liverpool it can indeed feel like anything is possible under the floodlights when the biggest prize is up for grabs, and so it will seem on Saturday night in Kiev when they go for European Cup number 6 against Real Madrid, the all-time powerhouse chasing number 13. What about other miracles too, like a club that searches the world for talent discovering its brightest young thing a 10-minute walk away from the Melwood training ground? Alexander-Arnold was born and raised in Liverpool's West Derby district, and on that night, watching them beat Juventus, it all came together. He had always loved football, and he grew up knowing the grey concrete walls of Melwood protected a great institution from prying eyes. He would see the expensive cars of the players driving to training, but it was during that 2005 Champions League quarter-final that he knew he wanted to be a Liverpool fan. By then he was training at the academy, his name picked out of a hat at school to visit the club, and 30 minutes into his first drill the coach John Stevens had taken Diane aside for a chat. I was still at a young age and I did have a few Everton mates. I didn't have a set club, I was very neutral. I used to love watching Match of the Day, and the goals. I used to love seeing people scoring. I wasn't really focused on one club until that night against Juventus. Sometimes, his mum would drive him and his brothers to Melwood and let them stand on the roof of the car to peek over the wall at first team training. It is something of a West Derby tradition. Others prefer standing on wheelie bins, which will be lost when the club relocates to Kirkby. We talk about what it will be like on Saturday night when the pitch clears of all but the players. The kitman gathers up the tracksuits and Alexander-Arnold looks over from his place on the right to wherever Cristiano Ronaldo is standing. Then it will be him, the boy from West Derby, playing in the Champions League final, against one of the greatest goal scorers the world has ever known. Yet when he talks about this it never feels as daunting as it could. Trent Alexander-Arnold is not daunted by the big occasion. Credit Getty Images. He treats it the same as his England World Cup call-up, a surprise in so much as how quickly it has happened, but not, he points out respectfully, a surprise that it has happened. I have trained for 13 years for these moments, these types of games, he says. You prepare yourself for it without even knowing. I will keep working hard in the next few days to get better, to improve, to get to a new level. That is the main thing, to keep striving, to focus on myself and make sure I get a good game. Then there is more chance of me not giving him, Ronaldo, too many chances to do what he does best. Liverpool are going for European Cup number 6 against Real Madrid. Credit Getty Images. We meet the morning after Gareth Southgate's squad was announced and Alexander-Arnold smiles at the surreal experience of the last 24 hours. But this has been 13 years in the making, and although it has come so quickly, it was always what he wanted. As a boy playing Saturday football for his local team, New Broadway, he would turn out for the under-7s at 9:30 a.m. and the under-8s at 11 a.m. On Sunday he would play mornings for Clubside Country Park and afternoons for Liverpool. It just never stopped. A scholarship at Liverpool, England at under-16s level, then under-17s, under-18s, and under-19s. A first-team Liverpool debut in October 2016. An under-21s cap in September. A regular first-team place, 32 appearances this season and now this. Trent Alexander-Arnold playing for England during a European U21 Championship qualifier. Credit, Getty Images. I have never thought of it like that, he says. I have always thought take a step at a time. Even though it is hard to say this, I have never felt overwhelmed in that situation. Every situation has been a goal and a dream, so I have thought about it many times and nothing has really been a surprise. Even though the timing has been a surprise, I never felt right now I would be going to a World Cup. I always dreamed I would be going at some point. I thought things over in my mind millions of times growing up. Every situation that has happened I have imagined. England squad, World Cup 2018. Jurgen Klopp walks to a nearby table. He shouts over in mock seriousness, did he say he owes everything to his manager? This must be the headline. Alexander-Arnold smiles nervously. He is still just a teenager. He loves chess. He learned to play it when it rained at school and there was no lunchtime football, and now he and his good friend Ben Woodburn battle each other at every opportunity. Pre-season in Dublin there was a chessboard, he says. Since then we have downloaded it onto our computers because when the plane takes off all the pieces move. Nightmare. A post shared by TA at Trent Arnold 98 on January 9, 2016 at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. His first passion is for his family and his love and admiration for his mother, Diane, is expressed without inhibition. She gets nervous watching him, but has been persuaded to come to Kiev. Growing up she sacrificed a lot of things to see us happy, to see us smiling and our dreams come true. A lot of the time she couldn't do things because she had to be up early in the morning to take us to football. I knew she is good with medicine and she maybe wanted to be a nurse, but she could never do that. Hopefully now that things are going really well she is enjoying her rewards as well. Alexander-Arnold is also a poster boy for the Football Association's development program, and we talk about his experiences in the youth teams. Ademola Lookman is a friend and Alexander-Arnold has been fascinated to hear about life for a young English player making his way in the Bundesliga. For England, he has enjoyed the diversity of opposition served up for the junior teams by Dan Ashworth, the technical director, and his staff. He was part of the under-17 side at the 2015 World Cup in Chile. It was there he tweeted about visiting the damage wrought by the Illapel earthquake, an experience afforded him by football that has opened his eyes to the world. That was unbelievable, right by our hotel, just walking along the coastline you got train tracks and rubble everywhere. It was crazy, the devastation that happened, yet it seemed like no one was paying attention to it. The locals carried on with their life and they worked hard for their living. It put things into perspective how lucky and fortunate we are to be living in fine conditions with a roof over our heads and never really stressing about a meal. That's important as a young player to get that experience. It's hard for them not to let it get to their heads, and those humbling experiences definitely keep your feet firmly on the floor. On the last day of the season he took 9-year-old Lewis Henry, a cerebral palsy sufferer, with him on the Anfield lap of appreciation. Lewis's mother, Natalie, has written movingly about the limitations on her son's life. He is currently in a wheelchair, and the positive effect of Alexander-Arnold's friendship. "There aren't many times when Lewis feels lucky," she said of that afternoon at Anfield, "but I bet he feels lucky today." Alexander-Arnold had already been visiting Lewis at the Alder Hey Children's Hospital, having organized it independently with Diane through the local charity, An Hour for Others. "Just to put a bit of joy in his life and see him smile was better than any award I might have. I have grown up in the community, I know a lot of things can be done. That's the right thing, it's not the publicity. The way myself and my brothers have been brought up is that you don't give to receive, you give to give, and that is the way life is." There is no question Alexander-Arnold is a determined character, as all these prodigies have to be to make it so young in such an unforgiving profession, and he is at peace with the challenge that lies ahead in Kiev. "It's a game we have to win a huge trophy, and there are 11 players in our way. The manager will get the tactics spot on, like he has done, and then hopefully we will be at it. We will have a game plan to execute as well as we can and come home with the trophy." Trent Alexander-Arnold playing his favorite pastime. Credit, Getty Images. In the meantime, there will be a few more games of chess with Woodburn to pass the hours. "Me and Ben, we know each other's moves," he says. "We try to set each other up in little traps. Of course the best players can see the board 20, 30, 40 moves ahead, and Alexander-Arnold reflects on that. It is how he sees his playing career too, and it has prepared him for this remarkable moment in his young life that has come so soon." Join Paul Hayward, Jamie Carragher, Alex Scott, Jason Burt, Sam Wallace and Jim White for a special World Cup preview event. https://www.telegraph.co.uk/rewards/events/World-Cup preview